Hello, hello, hello. What is good, people? Peace and blessings to each and every single one of you. We are back and live. Welcome to another episode of Assembly of Excellence. Let's get into it. If you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just gotta want it. You don't want it bad and then you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you gotta be willing to give up sleep. What's good, folks? I am your host for the evening, the Entry Last of a Writer's Creed. Salutes to everybody in the proximity. I appreciate you. We are back. It's been a couple of days since I pulled up. Had to take some time to myself, get some things in order. But we are here, and I'm humbled, grateful, and honored to be with you guys one more time on this Wednesday. We almost there, Lord willing. Shout out to my poets, my writers, my singers, my content creators. Salutes to each and every single one of my peoples working on these projects with me, from the disappearance of Penelope Cruz all the way down to Escape Window. We got some things to talk about tonight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're not, to keep up with everything that I have going on. You see the name of the title. I thought I'd take this one hands on myself personally, because while I would love to hear different opinions on this particular matter, I thought I'd kind of chime in on it myself. The red pill community, what does it mean? What does it represent? What does it stand for? Why is it here? And what is my thoughts on it? Well, for me, I can go back as far as maybe 4 years for me personally when it comes to this community of brethren that get into a space where they discuss matters of different topics. It's more or less based around relationships, dealing with the opposite gender, pair bonding, how to cohesively and successfully manage a relationship of any sort. In this atmosphere. You have a set of guys, of a certain caliber, more or less people who make a certain amount of money. Usually, when you speak about the red pill nation, it's usually a bunch of rich people or wealthy people, should I say, that have this grandiose studio setting. They have a panel of different men from all walks of life, and they kind of they talk about financial gain. They talk about cultural issues. They speak on just a myriad of different things that go on between men and women. Um, I think that since this has been introduced, I know a lot of people would probably be more familiar with Kevin Samuels. If you think about red pill and what it really means to a lot of the people, he will be the first name that crosses folks' mind. I know for me personally, he's the first to cross minds when I thought about it. Um, and with him, he spoke about um the dating market, high value men, what makes a woman worthy of being married, or he just spoke on different values contrary to the belief system that we have in 2023 today. Now, here's what I want to say as well, because I think it's important that we understand that when we get into a conversation that depicts man or woman in a certain light, it's always going to get backlash. And it's usually because there's always hidden truth beneath the undertones in which people choose to express their feelings towards a certain matter. And this is where I come in at with my point of view on all of it, right? And let me just say, shout out to everybody from Tag, from IG, from Twitter, from Twitch, to all of my viewers right now. I thank you for pulling up. I'm going to be very clear about how I feel about this. Let me get this a little closer. 1 second. So you can see what I'm seeing. All right. So here's my thing, right? I see all the conversations. I hear them very, very clear. The roles of men and the roles of women and who's supposed to lead and who's not supposed to be in a certain position. And I got to be honest, there's a lot of validity behind the conversations that they have on these panels, and then there's a lot of things that I don't agree with. which I think is a fair assessment. We're not always going to agree on everything. I appreciate what the red pill community does because there's a lot of people who will absorb the information that they're getting from these channels, and they'll utilize it without truly understanding the message. Some people will go to the extremes with the information. Some people might just ignore it, and some people will fight against it. I think when you if think or I feel or believe that if you're going to watch this type of programming, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Just like if you were going to watch an all woman's channel that, you know, speaks about similar topics, you have to take these things with a grain of salt. Everything that you hear is not going to be the truth, or it's not really going to bring you the true clarity or enlightenment that you might believe is going to. And I believe truly that in order to really get the truth and to really get the answers that you want in any situation, especially if you're trying to improve as a woman or improve as a man, you have to be very careful with who you allow to feed you information, who you allow to plant the seed, because everyone wants to be a motivational speaker. Everyone wants to have the answers to the test. Everybody feels like their way is the best way, and they'll spew out a bunch of word salad and quote a bunch of BS from books, tell you to go read this and go read that, and you're supposed to just accept what's what's being suggested to you, speaking on statistics, numbers, and all these different things. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one who does the research, get the information for yourself, get the experience for yourself. If you're just going off of someone else's success story, if you're just going off of someone else's word and their end all is the be all, you're setting yourself up for failure possibly, because the fact of the matter is humans always tend to feel as if they have everything. They have all the knowledge in the world. They can just lead you, guide you, elevate you. They can teach you things that they couldn't even teach themselves. And I find it funny that when we do these podcasts and we do these shows, these folks that's, you know, making millions and millions of dollars sit in front of a camera, in front of an audience, getting super chats, getting people sending them all types of money and things of that nature. They're preaching as if what they're speaking on is 100% gospel. That's where I have my reservations. It's one thing to want to genuinely want to help someone, the see someone come out of a detrimental place that could be hurtful and destructive. But when you're doing it from a sense of self greed, right? You're really just trying to monetize and make money off of the lack of knowledge that people have in the pursuit of making money off of these people's loneliness, their pain, their inability to do the work for themselves, playing on the minds of folks who kind of just are drifting, looking for other people to lead them. I really can't support it. Like I said, I take a lot of the words and the information that comes from these red pill platforms. I take it with a grain of salt. I see you. I see you. Um, there's but only so much you can listen to if you don't do the work. If you don't find out whether or not what these people are saying to you is real or not, how can you legitimately give your entire life, your entire trust to every single thing that they say out their mouth? That right there is something that baffles me. I can I can listen to you tell me how to deal with women, and I can listen to women, go on this rant about how men ain't shit and men ain't this and men ain't that, and I can listen to these panels all day and still just listening. I can tell there's missing pieces in these arguments that they having. I think the reason why I wanted to speak on this was because this is a movement that's not going anywhere. As long as we continue to see our infrastructures, our households, our relationships with family, with friends, with spouses, as long as we have people who struggle with dealing with the opposite gender, as long as we have hypergamy and all of these different situations happening, it's always going to be a problem. They're always going to be there, readily available, giving out information of all kinds to people who desperately just want to be heard, just want someone to be able to relate to them in some shape, form, of capacity. Give me 1 second. My apologies. Real life in real time, folks. There's absolutely no way around it. There's no way you can avoid those preempt interruptions that just when duty calls, what can you do? Back to what I was saying though, I'll make this real brief. And I'm gonna try to really get this out. The red pill community, it has pros and cons. It's going to be around for a very long time. It's not going nowhere. We understand it. What I think people need to really keep in mind is that these are just human beings just like us. They might have some degree of knowledge in areas, but when it's all said and done, they're just human, just like the rest of us. I don't believe that one person with a doctorate is more qualified than a regular person like myself to tell someone one way or other what the absolute truth is about how to deal with life, how to deal with people. I don't think anyone is superior in any area. I don't think just because you have millions of followers that makes you more deemed qualified to tell me how to be a decent human being or how to you can point me in a direction that might be optimal for me. Ultimately, I have to do the extra work to really get to that place myself. And that's really just the bottom line to that. And while I do enjoy the conversations because these folks are capable of having one second, one second. These folks are capable of, giving us information that might be able to help us succeed. Also, you have to take in consideration that they might be telling you some shit that might steer you in a horrible direction. You gotta really be mindful. Really be mindful. So pros and cons. You can do one thing over the other, or you can take all of that information and run with it, and then before you know it, you're kind of just stuck in this clusterfuck of why didn't I really just do the necessary homework to get it in order myself. I think more conversations should be had. I believe we should get these groups together. I think that men and women should be able to sit down across from each other and talk about whatever it is that's really bothering us in the community. I believe that those type of formats are definitely necessary and needed, but they need to, put out disclaimers. Really, I can't get on this camera and tell you that I have all the answers, and if you do exactly what I say, it's going to bring you all the joy, all the money, wealth, and I can't do that. But I can respect you and vice versa enough to the point to where I can at least take what you're saying into consideration and then move accordingly. There has to be a balance to it. There definitely has to be a balance to it. Unfortunately, we just tend to find ourselves in such a low state to the point to where we'll just become susceptible to any and everything that's being put on the internet. And those are just my thoughts on that. We might end up doing a part two to this. I'm gonna have to. I've had too many interruptions, and I'm gonna have to go into my other bag to really get back into this how I want to. But I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I do have something scheduled for, I believe, tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Friday, but we definitely pulling up tomorrow. I'm trying to get on Friday, and we definitely getting on Saturday. So, yeah, this is Assembly of Excellence signing out. Appreciate y'all for pulling up.